Kamala Harris has lied about police dying on January 6th, the national abortion ban, Project 2025, rally goers leaving early, blaming Trump for Afghanistan, very fine people host the Russian collusion, Trump statement on IVF, not wanting to take away guns, which is what we're going to get into right after this, no military in combat zones, stating that she won't ban fracking. There's no border crisis. Trump is racist. Trump being friends with Putin, manufacturing jobs. This woman has lied about everything. And this clip just hit the internet, and it could be the end of her campaign. Unearthed footage shows San Francisco DA Kamala Harris vowing to forcibly enter homes to check how private gun owners are storing their firearms. This video just sealed Trump's victory.
Responsible behaviors among everybody in the community, and just because you legally possess a gun in the sanctity of your locked home doesn't mean that we're not going to walk into that home and check to see if you're being responsible and safe in the way you conduct your affairs.
Have you heard?
As Johnny Magus suggested, make sure you say this, because this is arguably the most damaging clip to her presidential campaign. I mean, honestly, you have a candidate telling you that they're going to enter your home just to see how you stash your stuff. Invading your privacy. First, you know, she wasn't going to take away no guns. Then she taking away guns. I don't know which one is it. Somebody says she's an absolute commie. Kamala Harris will take your guns. Yeah, she's coming for the guns. It says, when people tell you who they are, please believe them. Oh my gosh, please believe them. And this is her compilation, where it's a compilation video showing how Kamala Harris is lying to the American people. She does not, I mean, she does want to ban fracking, take away your guns, and put America last. Just check her out yourself.
Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away, so stop with the continuous lying about this stuff. I support buybacks.
How mandatory is your gun buyback program?
It's mandatory. I will not ban fracking. I have not banned fracking as Vice President of the United States. And in fact, I was the tie-breaking vote on the Inflation Reduction Act, which opened new leases for fracking.
Will you commit to implementing a federal ban on fracking your first day in office, adding the United States to the list of countries who have banned this devastating practice?
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. I absolutely support, and over the last 4 years as Vice President, private health care options.
You support the Medicare for All bill, I think initially co-sponsored by Senator Bernie Sanders. You're also a co-sponsor on it. I believe it will totally eliminate private insurance. So for people out there who like their insurance, they don't get to keep it?
Well, listen, the idea is that everyone gets access to medical care, and you don't have to go through the process of going through an insurance company, having them give you approval, going through the paperwork, all of the delay that may require. Who of us has not had that situation where you got to wait for approval and the doctor says, well, I don't know if your insurance company is going to cover this? Let's eliminate all of that. Let's move on. The United States Congress, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Senate, came up with a border security bill, which I supported. And that bill would have put 1,500 more border agents on the border to help those folks who are working there right now overtime, trying to do their jobs. And I think there's no question that we've got to critically re-examine ICE and its role and the way that it is being administered and the work.
And this is why every time Kamala Harris talks, I'm just like, And anybody who believes in truth and believes in, you know, objective truth, not subjective, and they have common sense, man, would agree. It's like, yo, every time this woman speaks, it's one day I'm this way, the next day I'm that way, you know, and then on top of that, she doesn't deny any of the claims that are being made against her. For instance, her not being black, she didn't deny that. Abortion, her wanting to, Trump asked her also if she would get rid of or in support of some way, shape or form, paraphrasing, of abortion in the 7th or 8-month term and 9-month and after birth. And she didn't even answer that. Yo, this woman is a liar. And then she's constantly talking about this bloodbath hoax with Donald Trump. But she's doing it on purpose. You know what I mean? Fear mongering is her only tactic.
Kamala Harris in the debate last week, she lied about Donald Trump's bloodbath comments. Why did she say that? Because she wants to invoke a negative energy around the campaign of Donald Trump, frankly, to affect these undecided voters that we talked about at the top. What does she want to talk about?
I mean, Congressman, you and I have gone back and forth a lot about like fact checking that can happen.
Kate, Can you acknowledge that Kamala Harris lied about the Charlottesville comments? Again, something that even Snopes has debunked and said is fake news, that it is wrong, that his statements were taken out of context. Those are the direct lies coming from Kamala Harris. So if you're going to talk about the invective put into this campaign that Kamala Harris and her campaign has done, trying to invoke a negative response from voters in our country, versus Donald Trump talking about issues, whether it be in a city or, quite frankly, you could bring up Aurora, Colorado, or you could bring up Denver, Colorado, that have been overrun by illegal immigrants.
There are lots of things can be brought up, which is also if you're talking about.
Somebody said it was so infuriating to watch her lie on live TV without any pushback from those so-called moderators. Meanwhile, they decided to argue with Trump about nearly everything that he said. Literally. It's almost as if Kamala and the moderators got together and was like, yeah, we finna play 3-on-1 for sure. And it almost seemed as if Kamala Harris was being asked questions that she already knew the answers to. Let's stop acting like it seemed as if, and we already know that that's the case. But yeah, man, shout out to Byron Donalds for, keeping up the fight. She can't beat him with his policy, okay? So she's gonna have to do it with lies and fear mongering. And that don't bother you as an undecided voter or, somebody who might be on a moderate side? Oh my gosh. Somebody says, she said, oh, you mean like the lie that thousands of Haitian immigrants are eating people's pets? You are too smart, or you think people are stupid. Obviously, that's somebody who's anti for Byron. Somebody also who's anti Byron. Donald Trump is delusional. I'm sorry. Byron Donalds, that is as delusional as Trump. CNN, why do you continue giving platforms to these idiots? He's okay, whatever. Yeah, so we see what's going on here in terms of Kamala. Now, I got to show y'all this next clip. I'm trying to hear him get to it. This is a clip of Kamala Harris describing how she can ruin lives with the swipe of a pen. Communism.
I learned, I think I was, 22 when I started that work. I learned that with the swipe of my pen, I could charge someone with the lowest level offense. And because of the swipe of my pen, that person could be arrested. They could sit in jail for at least 48 hours. They could lose time from work, and their family maybe lose their job. They'd have to come out of their own pocket to help hire a lawyer. They'd lose standing in their community. All because of the swipe of my pen. Weeks later, I could dismiss the charges, but their life would forever be changed. So I learned at a very young age the power.
Oh, we know she learned about power. That's how she ended up, she probably learned about power from Willie Brown. Yeah. I mean, you won't know unless you actually look it up, people. Okay, that's why I try to, bridge the gap. I'm like the gap in between people who don't care about politics and the people who really, really care. I'm like the guy that's like right in the middle, you know what I mean? Who's not totally unaware, but who don't understand every single aspect of the government. But I'm trying, like, that's me, you know what I mean? That's the gap that I try to bridge for people. I don't try to sit here and act like I know every inch of the government, and what goes on, but I know that when I'm watching somebody lie to my face and they're getting ready to be, or potentially getting ready to be the leader of this country, yeah, you know what I mean? I start to smarten up real quick. But Kamala Harris implies the blame of Trump's rhetoric and associated hoaxes on his assassination attempts. I'm sorry, let me read this over. I completely read it wrong. Kamala Harris implies the blame Trump's rhetoric. Y'all think I'm playing? It's written just like this. Let me put it on the screen. Hold up. So y'all see it up over here. All right, cool. Kamala Harris implies the blame Trump's rhetoric and associated hoaxes on his assassination attempts and virtue signals. Okay, cool. Reading it out when y'all got it on the screen made sense for me. Okay. I told people Kamala would be worse than anything seen. This is insidious, petty politicking that conservatives are up against. Lie after lie. This is from Malcolm Flex. Shout out to my guy real quick. Let's go ahead and dive into it.
So Kamala Harris and her cackling campaign of lies is at it again. Now, I told people when Kamala Harris was anointed, not won, but anointed as the nominee, this was not going to be an easy out. I think you guys are kind of seeing it now because while she is very unintelligent, and oftentimes bursts into sporadic fits of cackling, the woman is a dang good liar, and she's an empty suit vector for anything that South should want. But don't take my word for it. No, watch yourself.
Do you have full confidence in the Secret Service to protect all of you?
I do.
You feel safe for you and your family?
I do. But, I mean, you can go back to Ohio. Not everybody has Secret Service. And there are far too many people in our country right now who are not feeling safe. I mean, I look at Project 2025 and I look at, like the Don't Say Gay laws coming out of Florida. Members of the LGBTQ community don't feel safe right now. Immigrants or people with an immigrant background don't feel safe right now. Women don't feel safe right now. And so, yes, I feel safe. I have Secret Service protection, but that doesn't change my perspective on the importance of fighting for the safety of everybody in our country.
This is what you're going to give this woman. There's going to be lie after lie after lie after lie. What did she just do? Instead of taking the time to cool the temperature of things, condemn the fact that there were, number one, was a shooting, and number two, ask for a full investigation, she didn't even, she dispensed with the facade of even being worried and just said, well, you know what? Some of the stuff he's done has been worse, such as, quote unquote, Project 25. That was debunked. That was not President Trump. That was a group of unaffiliated individuals that had no connection to the campaign. Or the Don't Say Gay bill. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't Say Gay was also debunked. That was simply a parental rights in education to understand what teachers were teaching kids in classes and have to disclose that to parents and opt in or out of whether or not they want an LGBTQ legislation or education being enacted or taught to their children. And then she brought up Ohio, which we already found out that was a call center overseas, foreign actors. But they only care about that when it comes to quote unquote Russia, right? So she's 1,000 times worse than anything you've seen coming from the Biden administration. Her staff, her cabinet. Let's not even talk about the instability that you're going to face there. Most of the Biden staffers don't like Kamala. I think that is abundantly clear. And she's hemorrhaging staffers as, fast as she can pick up a mug and throw it at them whenever she has something go on that she doesn't like. So I'm just saying this to say, what you're going to get out of this administration is going to be anything worse than what you've ever seen. And at a time right now where we need unprecedented levels of stability and strength coming in, you're not going to get that.
I share the same sentiment. How can Americans, feel safe under Kamala Harris administration, knowing that she allows so many different people to walk across that border? Millions. And then they also are a threat to our jobs, to our pets, to our well-being, to our families. Like, I don't see how somebody could feel safe wanting to vote her into that office. And in addition to that, they're prioritizing these migrants over the actual citizens. They're prioritizing these migrants over homeless veterans. It's psychopath behavior, man. And this guy right here, man, he said nothing but the truth. Somebody wrote, I listened to the entire interview. It's embarrassing. The gun thing was nuts, just dumb. It's not gun violence. It's people being violent. The work we need to do was over and over. Yeah, man. Yeah, but I gotta say this. This guy was right. She wants to defund the police. Somebody asked, can we defund the Secret Service so she can really understand feeling unsafe? She's nothing but a liar.